Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of Geek Dhaba Reviews. Today we will be tackling Sonic the Hedgehog 2. With me today is my cousin and major Sonic fan, Amsh. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure. Any chance I want to discuss Sonic, I'll be here.
That's awesome. So we're going to be talking about the sequel, what we thought of it, and what our future predictions will most likely be. So take it away, Amsh, what you thought.
I wanted to be professional for once. I actually took some notes. So, this was really my thoughts on the movie in general. Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the first one, like a lot. I really, really enjoyed the first one. And I didn't know I didn't know what to expect for the second one. I didn't know really what direction they would go. I kept myself as spoiler-free as possible going into it. And basically that nostalgic Sonic fan that always is like just lurking beneath the surface was absolutely overjoyed with most of this movie. Overall, I think it is better than the first one, but I feel like the first one has a more streamlined narrative, like it's a smooth ride from A to B. This one has little like detours. Some parts I didn't like. Like there's noticeable parts where I wasn't enjoying the movie, but the parts I did enjoy were so good that it just trumped everything else. But in a nutshell, yeah, that's pretty much what I thought of it.
First of all, good job with the Sat AM opening. That was perfect. But yeah, I will agree with you that this movie, I still like, I do love the second one more than the first one in comparison because of all the nostalgic factors that we got over here. We got Tails, we got Knuckles, we got Jim Carrey back as Eggman, and he was always a stellar performance as Eggman in my opinion. His first one was really good. His second one was better, so much better. And my only personal problem is the wedding.
Yeah, that's sort of like the off tangent that sort of happens. That's what I meant, right? When they sort of deviated from the Sonic Knuckles Tails story.
Exactly.
It was like when they had to go to Hawaii and do the entire wedding thing. Like if they had just revealed that, are we talking spoilers or not talking spoilers?
Yeah, we were definitely talking spoilers. This is a spoiler review, so it's perfectly fine.
All right, so spoilers. I wouldn't have minded the wedding scene if they had just cut it after Sonic's surrogate mother's sister. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. When her fiance revealed he was a gun soldier. If they had just cut it there, that would have been amazing. Because the second I saw he was an agent, I'm like, this is Gun. It has to be Gun. Who else would it be?
Exactly. As soon as I saw the badge had a G, and I immediately knew he's a gun agent.
And should we be saying Gun? Isn't it G-UN?
It's G-U-N, but it's in the games it's G-U-N, because in the games they can't really say Gun.
Yeah, they gave Shadow a gun in Shadow the Hedgehog, but I digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the reveal was really cool because I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah.
Like it totally caught me off guard.
Exactly.
So I did like that, but then the entire like maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes we got of let's rescue Sonic using Tails' inventions was.
And that is one of the tangents that I personally had a problem with. Although it was fun for a while, it dragged on a little.
Yeah, it was fun for any other movie, but at that point, like where it was placed in the movie is sort of where I had an issue with it. Like it was sort of right before the final act, and we were like sort of gearing our way up to our final act, and it was sort of like a distraction before then. So it's just sort of the place in the movie. And I think because I'm like at that point, I'm like, all right, I want to see the Master Emerald. I want to see the finale. Can we just get through this so I can get to what I really want to see?
Exactly. The building of the Master Emerald, they had the amazing story, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure everybody, all those 7 people that had the Chaos Emeralds, they looked kind of familiar. And they kind of looked like echidnas, but at the same time, kind of like, for a bit, I think I saw Jet, like a silhouette of Jet. In one of
I think apparently Tyson Hesse, one of the drawers, one of the animators for Sonic, said that a lot of the ruins that they were in the labyrinth of had like symbols from like Sonic riders. I remember how the riders were from Babylon, ancient Babylon.
Yeah.
So apparently some of the symbols in that building were references to that.
Exactly. So when we were talking the story, we were doing the background story of how they combined the seven emeralds to create the Master Emerald. There was a green character silhouette, and he looked like Jet. So
I don't remember that, but I did enjoy that backstory.
yeah, so did I. Really
I mean,
great.
it had like sort of elements of the old Archie canon in it, which I know
Exactly.
people don't like the Archie canon, but it was a pretty neat little way of tying it all together. They sort of gave you Enerjack without giving you Enerjack, really.
Speaking of Enerjack, they kind of hinted at Enerjack and when they were talking about the Chaos Emerald's powers.
Yep, that's sort of the idea. But yeah, anything else about the movie that I can just think off the top of my head? I enjoyed that they gave Knuckles dignity after what feels like maybe 20 years.
Yeah,
Um,
he got a great build up in this movie.
if I can think back, I think the last time Knuckles had any dignity was probably Sonic Heroes.
He had a decent amount, but I wouldn't say it was good.
I mean, but he wasn't like he wasn't a joke character, is my point in Heroes. He was
Yeah,
still somewhat semi-serious.
fair enough.
Um,
Yeah.
he enforces, he kind of had like that I'm the leader of the resistance thing, which was okay. But like basically from like Sonic Heroes till I don't know, let's just say till Sonic Forces, he was the butt of every I'm a stupid strong guy.
I do agree. Even in Sonic and the Black Knight, when his character was Gawain, he had a great moment, but he was still a whiny baby kind of character. Because anytime something goes wrong, he would be upset.
See, the thing is, I think somewhere along the line we decided that Knuckles is stupid. When Knuckles is not stupid, he's naive. And again, simplest comparison you can make, he's basically Dax the Destroyer, where everything is literal to him. He doesn't really understand like, social etiquette. He doesn't understand nuance. So he's a very literal character. He's naive. Like that's why he gets fooled, because he just doesn't know. He has concepts of friendship, concepts of camaraderie, concepts of honor, which people can exploit. Which I prefer. I like him having dignity. Idris Elba, I think, was the best actor in the movie.
Yeah.
Knuckles had the biggest laughs came from Knuckles.
Yes.
I got no laughs from Sonic this time, surprisingly, because everything was a pop culture reference.
That is kind of the problem. Yeah, that was another problem I had with this movie.
I loved Knuckles. I loved they got I forgot I don't remember her name, but I think it's Colleen O'Shanahan, I think, who voices Tails in the current games.
Yes, so
she was great.
She was. And actually this was one thing that I actually would have loved. They brought her back for Tails, and I would have loved if they got Dan Green back for Knuckles. But Idris Elba is still a good pick.
I don't know, man. Dan Green Knuckles, he's just shouty all the time. I'd like the more dignified Idris Elba Knuckles.
Exactly. That is one thing. Still a nice touch. And when we got to the final arc with Team Sonic together, that was pretty amazing.
Well, the Sonic Heroes family was going insane when I saw them like huddled together.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't. I did enjoy Eggman. I did enjoy Jim Carrey, but I kind of liked his more grounded, realistic one in the first one, where he was like an actual human.
Yeah.
And now he's just like he's the big bad now. I think the Mushroom Planet warped his mind to the point where.
Well, to be fair, after 273 days in there, that would happen.
Yeah, but he was good. He got the good look down, and I'm like he looked okay. You didn't have to make him fat, which is fine. And Supersonic was like, I was almost at the point of tears when Supersonic came.
Exactly, same.
Loved that. I like the design for the Death Egg Robo. It's really hokey and doesn't really make sense, but because like if you see like his other robots, they're like very grounded and trying to look like they could exist. But I guess you could argue the Emerald was putting his thought into power, so that's just what he imagined.
That is the thing, and the people have brought up. I've noticed it that although they are more grounded creations, they do give resemblances to existing robots from the video games. There was one that looked like the killer wasps.
A lot of them actually look like the wasps were like a reference, like I think Emerald Hill Zone, because those have the wasps in them. But from what I can tell, it looks like they took like a lot of Sonic 06 aesthetic, because the simple robots Sonic 06 are just white. Like for that game, they ditched the egg designs, the eggomatic designs.
Yeah.
But I don't have an issue with it. I liked seeing his eggomatic on screen, which was fun.
It was all good. It was all very great. And there were a lot of very good Easter eggs in this one.
Yep. Again, that's sort of half of my brain was just focusing on Easter eggs, and the other half was watching the movie.
Exactly.
What was your favorite Easter egg?
Oh, there are quite a few. One of my favorite Easter eggs is when the sewers all blew up. So that was like kind of like a Sonic Adventure Easter egg.
I didn't even get that one yet until you told me. I didn't even think of that.
So there was that one, and then one of my biggest Easter eggs for the very first Easter egg when Knuckles meets Eggman for the first time, and he's like, "Where did you get the quill? I got it from Earth. I can show you the way."
I wish Knuckles had just spit at him at that point. That would have just put the icing on the cake.
Yeah. So that Knuckles one. Which one's yours?
They could have, if they could have gone all the way and put the Master Emerald in Uganda. That's the best thing.
I agree. That would have been perfect.
For me, the two I enjoyed the most was, first of all, Agent Stone calling his coffee shop the mean machine, or the mean bean. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's a reference to Sonic, the Sega Genesis game, Dr. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine, which is like a version of Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. And my second favorite Easter egg was when, I don't know his name again. I apologize. I don't remember his name. I called him Olive Garden General.
Yeah.
Or General Olive Garden.
Mm-hmm.
When he and Donut Lord and his wife all come back to Green Hills right before the Death Egg Robo shows up, they fly in a helicopter. If you see the top of the helicopter, it has SA2 on it, which it's two references. It's a reference to Sonic Adventure 2, which ties into the post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the opening of Sonic Adventure 2, the first cutscene for the hero story. That's the name of the helicopter that Sonic gets captured and jumps out of.
Yeah.
I think the guy's like, this is Sigma Alpha 2.
Yeah. Those are good ones. Those are very good ones.
Those are my two favorite references.
Another good reference is that Super Sonic showed up in the second movie when he also showed up in the second game.
Yeah, that's good. There are like some weird ones that I don't really care about. Like apparently Ben Schwartz, who voices Sonic, was on Parks and Rec, and one of his like catchphrases like going like, "It's the worst."
Yeah.
So he did that like with Sonic. Apparently that was a reference. Then Sonic just making all his pop culture references. Yeah. Self-referencing has got to go fast thing.
This honestly, my only one major gripe I do have is that referencing is fine. If you want to do pop culture references, it's fine. But one, don't overdo them. Two, don't make them dated.
I mean, I don't mind them being dated. I just wish the frequency was a bit less. Like I think almost everything that came out of Sonic's mouth was a pop culture reference.
Exactly, especially the whole like the owls and the echidnas have been fighting for centuries, and he's like, just like Vin Diesel in The Rock. I'm like, dude, like, was that necessary?
Yeah, the Batman thing was like, eh.
The Batman thing, I
references.
The Batman one was fine because he was still trying to become the superhero thing, and what he was going for, it kind of made sense. But if he had called himself the Blue Blur instead of the Blue Justice, that would have been much better.
Yeah, that would have been good. I do like that we're still keeping Sonic meme culture alive. We had Sonic in the first one, and now we have Ugandan Nichols. So I wonder what the third one will have. Which is confirmed. They did confirm they're making the third one. So that's...
Oh, yes.
We're confirmed to Sonic 3.
We should talk about that now.
Do we have to talk about that?
I mean, do you want to treat it like Bruno from Encanto? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. Like, there's so many mixed feelings to have. Like, I think literally before going to see the movie, I think I told you, they had better not do Shadow in Sonic 3. And that's with no knowledge of the movie, no knowledge of the post-credit scene. I just went and said to you, if they're doing a Sonic 3, I hope it's not Shadow. And lo and behold, it was Shadow. The cool thing was that everyone in my audience, like, well, not everyone, but most of the people there were like Sonic fans. So when Shadow showed up, they lost their minds.
Mm-hmm.
So that was neat. But I don't know. I feel like Shadow, they'll have to alter his backstory considerably.
Yeah.
Or they'll have to figure out how to do that. I don't know how they're going to do his backstory. I don't know in the framework of the universe that's given to us how it'll exist as it was in the game. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll have to do something like the Master Emerald where they take elements of like story and sort of make their own. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how they justify it being a hedgehog. That's the only thing that doesn't make sense to me. They could figure out everything else. The only thing I can't justify is how does he look like an anthropomorphic hedgehog that's from Sonic's world?
That is an excellent question on the matter, just on the matter of how the movie is being portrayed, how it's been built up for now, the series, the entire franchise so far. That's the only problem that I have. Apart from that, Gun existed around the time that Shadow was created, but Gun just got created in this movie, so that creates this one plot hole that we have to deal with. Maria is.
I mean, they could have the simplest thing they could have done, honestly,
Mhm.
is they could have just dropped the line and said if they hadn't dated Shadow 50 years, it would have been fine. The gun soldiers the general Olive Garden could have just said, hey, how is our special project coming? And she's like, oh, Project Shadow. Sir, I think you're going to be happy with what we've got. And then just show Shadow.
Yeah, honestly, that would have been better. But at the same time, I think they wanted to try to uh, connect it to Gerald Robotnik.
Which I don't have an issue with. It's just that, I mean, again, like in the Sonic games, Gerald Robotnik's not from a parallel universe. He exists in the same universe where anthropomorphic animals exist.
Mm-hmm.
How in the name of God did Gerald Robotnik arrive at a hedgehog? I guess the only way I could justify it, which I was thinking about, is maybe he was experimenting with like the parallel universe thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into Sonic's universe and he saw the Chaos Emeralds and he saw like the echidnas or whoever he saw.
Mm-hmm.
And then he based it off that, which I guess is the plausible way of doing it, but I'm not sure what they do.
It would also add to Ivor Robotnik's story, where how he is the person he is when he was called to deal with the threat of Sonic in the first movie. Maybe because he has the knowledge, because they knew about Project Shadow, and he knew that his grandfather was a part of that project, so he would have knowledge on how to deal with it.
Right. I thought that's the way you could connect it as well. Like he was experimenting with this dimensional thing.
Yeah.
And then like Eggman saw that or knew about that. That's why he was so obsessed with finding the Sonic Quill and doing the dimension thing himself.
So another factor.
I mean, that's what.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way they can really implement it. But I am curious. If anything, I'm curious.
I am curious as well. I do have one last theory as to how Shadow can be done. Gerald Robotnik like we mentioned, he finds a way to go to the portal where the hedgehogs existed, because we knew that we know that Sonic was given the long claw to an extent, right? So what we can see is that he probably found the hedgehog world that was already in chaos or on the verge of chaos, and he figures out, he gets a quill, just like the Robotnik did in the first movie, and he tries to recreate the hedgehog population-ish in a way to help the world, but it winds up going haywire and he creates the ultimate life form.
I take it a step. I'd actually dial it back a bit. I'm saying he could have just found a quill. Yeah. It doesn't have to be an explanation. He just found a quill, and the quill had hedgehog DNA, and he recreated it from that, and that's why it just turned out to be a hedgehog. Because the quill was just hedgehog DNA, I guess.
Then let's put something else over there. Why was it washed away for 50 years? Let's say he found some potential energy.
I don't think they can do the entire space colony arc thing. That'd be much to just suddenly drop on us.
Yeah, the space colony arc it's with everything built up. The space colony arc does not work.
I mean, it can, but the thing is, like, within an hour and a half movie for kids, I don't know how you can cram all of that into that.
No, you can't.
Like, you have to explain why the arc exists. You have to explain who Gerald Robotnik is. You need to explain Maria. You need to explain Shadow. You need to explain all of Shadow's backstory.
And then it will also mean you have to find a way to bring in Rouge.
She's not really that integral in Sonic Adventure 2, let's be honest. She's not
integral in Sonic Adventure 2, but she was a gun agent that did play a part in this. Right,
and the only reason I don't like Rouge is because then how would you justify her being in this movie? Like, did they just find her?
Just, yeah. So there are a lot of factors to consider. Same way how Tails found his way into the world, they could try to recreate that to bring in someone from another dimension to help out, and Rouge just happens to show up, so they employ her as an agent.
The one thing I'm just curious about, this is the thing that was bugging me the most. Shadow can't be the primary antagonist for that movie. I mean, I don't know how they'd characterize him, but in my head, Shadow doesn't work as a primary antagonist. Because I mean, because if the idea is to turn him good, then he can't work as a primary antagonist, can he? Like there has to be another big bad. Now, I will they make it Eggman again? Will it be the Bio Lizard? I don't know what the end game of that movie would be, unless they're going to go all the way and make it Shadow as the final boss, which I don't know how they do, but it'd be interesting if they did.
That actually is a very good point. But
I mean, I guess you could do a Super Shadow versus Supersonic as the ending, but I don't know, because the thing is, like, because again, if you want the SA2 experience, the final boss is the Bio Lizard, which I don't think the audiences of the world who haven't played Sonic games are ready for a giant lizard on life support who can make things move with its mind.
exactly.
Fun fact, where did the Chaos Emeralds go after they Dragon Balled away?
That's an excellent question.
Like, did they go to different dimensions, or did they stay within the Earth?
I mean, a bit of both.
I mean, because the reason I ask is because you can't have a Shadow movie and not have Chaos Control be a thing. And Shadow would need an Emerald to do Chaos Control, unless they want to just give him Chaos Control without Emeralds, which would make him too strong, so they can't do that.
Exactly. Unless, of course, the one of the animals wound up near Shadow, or he knows about
the
location of a particular emerald.
I mean, I don't have any problems with Gunn finding the emerald for him. It's just that I don't know where they went after Supersonic went away. Did they go around the world? Did they go into different dimensions? That's sort of my question.
Yeah, that is a question that they'll have to answer whenever the third one gets confirmed.
Yeah, my only fear is that they'll yada yada Shadow's backstory, just like one flashback, that's it. And then I hope they don't make him like, I hope they give him depth. I hope they don't just make him dark brooding for the sake of being dark brooding.
Exactly. And who knows, if Shadow's performance does wind up going good, they might just, I don't know, do something ridiculous like give him a spin-off of his own.
Maybe don't. I am distinctly in the camp of Shadow should have died at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 and stayed dead. It would have made everything so much better.
Honestly, kind of, but it did add a nice touch in Heroes. I
mean, we wouldn't have all the memes.
That's true too.
I wouldn't be able to ever say that I found the damn fourth Chaos Emerald. I wouldn't ever be able to say I found the computer room. All sorts of Shadow stuff. The only thing I wish is that they could have done SA1 first, because they had the chance. The Master Emerald broke. Canon-wise, Chaos was trapped in the Master Emerald.
Exactly.
So it could have been a nice little post-credit scene where you just saw like that you could go to the Emerald Shrine, like cut to it. Exactly. And you could just see some ooze on the side and it starts like bubbling.
Exactly. Because you already built up for that in the beginning. Like I mentioned, that was that one Easter egg when Chaos was created. He created this entire calamity. So it would have been a nice Easter egg building up to the main thing. It would have been great, but you know, it's still good that what we got was still pretty good. I'm
happy with what we got. I'm saying with at least for me, for Sonic 3, it could have been, we could have like phased out the humans by saying, hey, okay, there's this Chaos thing and it wants all the emeralds. We need to stop it from getting the emeralds. And the emeralds could have been like scattered across the dimensions and stuff. And it would be Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles just going from dimension to dimension, getting emeralds.
Yeah.
So it could have been like a fun adventure movie. Yeah. It could have been like a Sonic adventure.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you could have just had the end being Perfect Chaos, which is fine with me.
Perfect Chaos versus Supersonic, which, by the way, also means that if Supersonic winds up again in Sonic 3, we're going to get Super Shadow too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's destined to happen. I think it's going to happen. You can't put Shadow in a movie and not give him his super form.
Now, I only have one last. Before you say, if you have anything else to add, go ahead. I have one last thing to say before we do the scores.
There was one last thing I wanted to say, and this was something that bothered me. In the end credits, although fantastic because they were the 2D sprites, seeing the Sonic 2D sprite with blue arms is the most uncanny valley thing I've ever seen in my life. It was bugging me the entire end credits. I'm like, this looks so weird. And I was just like, I was thinking, I was with another cousin of ours, and I was poking him like, "This is weird. Stop it. Make it stop." It's scary. But overall, yeah, Sonic 2. I would watch it again. I may watch it again, and I'm looking forward to Sonic 3.
Same here. One thing I will definitely say, like one proper thing to say, and then one joking thing to say before we go to scores. One proper thing I want to say is that I love how the first and second movies, this little mid-credit montages before the mid-credit scenes. They're playing off all the games of Sonic, and we also got like Sonic CD. We got Sonic 2. We got all of those sprites going around. That was pretty good. But I do have one thing to say, and this will probably piss you off and probably a lot of Sonic fans off. How soon can we expect a Nazo movie?
I mean, that's the real Sonic movie. For all I'm saying. I don't know. Is that the real Sonic movie, or is the anime OVA the real Sonic movie?
The anime OVA is the real Sonic movie.
I don't know. I do love that OVA. I really like Metal Sonic and that. All right, but if they ever make Nazo Unleashed into like a full feature film, I'm sure it would make negative $75 at the box office. But hey, part of that negative 75 would be me going to watch it.
Honestly,
I mean, it wouldn't be negative 80. It wouldn't be negative 85 is what I'm saying. There'd be $10, but there would be my $10 in there.
I agree. I would still go to watch it, even though I know it's not going to go reflect well in cinema. So let's just go on to the final scores. Personally, I would give it an 8.5. 8.5. I'll stick 8.5.
8.5. For me, it was great, but I feel like you can only really appreciate it if you're a Sonic fan. And if you're not a Sonic fan, it might be slightly a bit more draggy than the first one because of all its plot going all the way over. I will give it a strong 7.5 out of 10.
Great. And with that, our average score comes out to 8 out of 10. So
yeah, that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah. And I would personally recommend anyone who's a Sonic fan to give it a watch. And if you're not a fan, you'll enjoy it. You may be a little confused, but you'll get to understand things better as you watch it and start playing the games because of it. Because I know a lot of people, after watching the movies, are going to start playing the games.
And I can tell you that it's already taking effect. I was actually looking for a copy of Shadow the Hedgehog for GameCube because apparently the GameCube versions of like the Heroes Shadow the Hedgehog games are like the definitive versions because the GameCube's a stronger machine than the PS2. I can't find a copy for cheaper than $50, so it's already sort of trickling down. The one thing I will say about the Sonic franchise as a whole, I do enjoy that they're marrying they're making it for fans and also for the general audience.
Yeah.
Which is good because it makes sure that it stays relevant. It's not enough to alienate new fans or newcomers, but enough to give old fans all the things they wanted to see, which I think they should take an approach for like future movies. Like you have to do half and half so that you generate revenue, right? You can't just make a movie for fans only and then risk not making money.
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately, to get more movies, you have to generate box office. So if you're a Sonic fan, you have to see this movie. Like you absolutely have to go see Sonic 2. It'll make you grin from ear to ear. If you're interested in Sonic, you want to find out what it's all about. It's a decently intro movie to sort of the universe and the ideas and themes of Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, we'll put our review to a close. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you have your own thoughts about the movie, feel free to let us know in the comments. Like, comment, share, and if you guys want to see more like this, do let us know. Until then, this has been Amar from Geek Dhaba. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Way past cool.